Right, good evening. Back for another session. Tonight's focus is a push session. I'm still on a deload at the moment, trying to rejuvenate my body a little bit as I'm a little bit beaten up. So it's going to be a bodybuilding style, aesthetics orientated push session. So everything's very light, and I am just going for reps and sets. So I just started out with a set of low incline, excuse me, 100 kilos, 20 reps, straight into some banded side raises. I don't know if the bands show up on a video, but I assure you I'm not just raising my arms. They are attached to a band underneath. But anyway, I'm gonna get probably 4 or 5 sets of this. So. As I said, I'm still on my deload. That was second round. The aches and the pains are catching up a little bit. This time last year, I sort of retore a bit of scar tissue in my pec, because you guys maybe remember if you've been following me, I suffered a pec tear quite a long time ago, but you still have a lump of scar tissue. And unfortunately, almost a year later, that bit of scar tissue at the moment is playing up again, so it's pretty tender at the moment. Hence the reason I'm just sticking with something reasonably light. To be fair, I haven't actually bench pressed now for a couple of weeks at all, because as I said, it's been giving me quite a few problems on top of everything else. You guys know life has been a little bit up and down recently, so I've had all of that going on, coupled with few aches and pains and injuries, and now this old pec tears playing up a little bit as well. So I'm having to back off and be sensible, and just I'm doing my best to try and enjoy training. So I'm still getting a nice pump going. These band side raises, I'm using a black band at the moment. I attempted to use a purple band, but there's no elasticity in it. I'm physically strong enough. Sorry, I'm just looking down at the ground at it. I'm physically strong enough to do it, but it just literally doesn't stretch that far. Band side raises are absolutely fantastic if you've never done them before. They mimic almost a sort of seated side raise machine. So if you do ever get the opportunity to do them, they're really good. And just bring a black band with you if you're at the gym or what have you. Do your set, and then straight away hook it underneath the bench or underneath your feet. Get your arms for it and get some side raises in. Really good work. I'm using, that was at my fourth set, I think it was. I'm using a continuous tension style tonight with my bench press. So when I do bodybuilding style workouts, I tend to do 3/4-ish of the movement, maybe 2/3. Not a mathematician, but you get the idea. I do my best to go all the way down, and then I go about 2/3 of the way up, 3/4 of the way up. As I said, I'm not exactly sure. But it really does kind of keep tension on the area. The first few reps are pretty easy, but it gets pretty heavy pretty quickly. So by the time I think I got to about 18 reps, I think I ended up locking out the 18th or 19th rep, just because my chest was getting quite tired. Now, this isn't necessarily a massive weight for me for 20 reps, but as I said, I'm doing it as a deload and do my best to avoid injuring my pec anymore and all those kind of things. So it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. I was going backwards and forwards with Happy Olympus on a recent video. Thank you, as always, brother, for the support. And he quite rightly pointed out, basically, any training's better than no training. It's better to kind of cruise rather than just to stall completely. Okay, moving on, just going to do a few more incline. I've got my bench set at a 45 degree now, and I'm just doing some chain presses. Now, the chains I'm using are pretty heavy and pretty unstable. I think I've probably, I don't even know, something heavy anyway. I've got a decent amount of chain on there. I'm not even going to guess. But the good thing about the chain is I love accommodating resistance. It kind of unloads at the bottom, and you get a lot of the weight, you get the majority of the weight at the top. They're also pretty difficult to stabilize. So even though I've got this kind of aggravated pec, I'm still trying to keep the whole area relatively strong and relatively mobile. I know it sounds a bit weird. Sometimes in this instance, do as I say, not as I do. I know what I'm doing, folks. So as the weight unloads, it allows me to get a nice full range of motion. I'm able to go all the way down because it's not all that heavy at the bottom. And then it becomes a lot heavier as I unload the chains from the ground. And as I said, just in terms of that kind of shoulder stability, rotary cuff stimulation and stuff like that, I find it's very, very important. When you've got a bit of a injury and a few owies and things, getting those areas going and keeping them strong is really, really important. Or I find it works well for me anyway. Right, I'm gonna get 3 sets of that anyway, so I'm just doing 3 sets of 10. Okay, I'm doing a run the rack. So I'm going to start my 5 kilos, straight to the 7.5, 10, got my 12s, got my 15s, got my 17s, and then I'm going to work my way back down. So I'm going to do 10 reps per set. So by the end, I think it works out to over 100 reps. I think it's like 110 reps, but whatever, I'm just going to get on. Tens. Twelves. 15s. 17s, or 17 and a half. Fifteens. Tens. Seven and a half now. Ooh, a lot of reps. Fives, finish off. Okay, that's my session done. Discretion's the better part of valour. I was finishing off with a little bit of close grip bench press. No significant weight. I'd literally just got a plate and a few chains on there, and working on some drop sets. I could feel my pec getting a little aggravated. I was going to rep out with the plate right at the end and get like 20-30 reps. I think I got it to about 15, but I could just feel the pec telling me, Mark, don't be an idiot, it's a plate, you've had enough for today. So, and sometimes you just have to listen to your body. 60 kilos is not worth injuring yourself over. I said it's not a full-on tear or anything like that, but I said you have a lump whenever you tear a pec, you have a lump of scar tissue, and I kind of retore that scar tissue last year, and I think I've done something similar-ish. I don't honestly know how I did it. A few weeks ago, you'll probably remember that snow training video, and I was benching 3 plates, and I had to pull up after about 2 reps, and I said to you guys, my pec went really, really tight. And I didn't think it was an injury, and I didn't have any soreness straight away. But to be perfectly honest, my pec has never really operated properly since. And now I keep on like the scar tissue is a little bit tender. Anyway, enough moaning. That's I've got that out of my system. We're not about that. So yeah, I'm just adapting. I'm adapting and surviving. I'm still trying to get some good workouts in, and I think I'm going to train like this for as long as I need to, and just let the body rejuvenate itself a little bit. And if I train like this forever, then I train like this forever. I'm still training, I'm still doing something, and I'm still quite enjoying what I do. It's not the same as hoisting, the big poundages. It doesn't kind of get me super excited in the same way. But it's still, you can see I've got a nice sweat going, I've got a nice pump, and I'm sure I'll get some pretty good DOMs tomorrow. And at the end of the day, we have to look at longevity. You guys know I'm 47 in a few weeks time, and I've been doing this a very long time, and I still want to carry on doing it for a long time, so the weights aren't going to go anywhere. And my ego died a very, very, very long time ago. And, so if I'm not doing the big benches at the moment, and the big deadlifts and things, then it's something I'll just get on with and I'll just have to deal with, and I'll just have to get used to. I've done my fair share of heavy lifting over the years, and I'm not saying my heavy lifting's done, but for this time being, my body's telling me to just put it on the back burner, because ultimately I want to be doing this when I'm 50, I want to be doing this when I'm 55, I want to be doing this when I'm 60. I don't want to kind of succumb to my own pressure or peer pressure. Oh, Mark, what you benching? Where's your big bench gone? Where's your big deadlift gone? And ultimately, I do this as it's a recreational bit of fun. I personal train on the side, and as my side profession, as my second job, and all of this, I'm just a recreational lifter. And YouTube is just a little bit of a hobby. On that note, just to give you guys an update regarding my upload schedule, I was finding it pretty difficult combining life with all the editing and what have you, and getting videos out every other day was getting pretty taxing, because any of you guys know, when you kind of edit YouTube videos, you don't just kind of film and then upload. It takes quite a long time to edit. It takes several hours to edit videos together to look half decent. So in practical terms, I was just finding it very, very difficult. So what I have decided at the moment, for the time being anyway, I will upload a long format video on a Monday and a Friday. So I've scheduled them. Hopefully you will have seen the scheduling has started, but I think it'll work. And that way, hopefully you guys will actually know, okay, look out for Mark's videos on a Monday, look out for Mark's videos on a Friday. I'm also hoping to be able to drop a couple of shorts during the week as well, hopefully on a Wednesday and a Saturday. I'm not 100% certain on that at the moment, but certainly a Monday and a Friday. And to be fair, my YouTube shorts get a few views. They're not too bad. It's my long format stuff that gets like no views. A lot of my videos nowadays barely reach 100 views, which, considering I'm over 1,100 subs, like a year or so ago when I was only on 500 subs, I was actually averaging a lot more views, which is just the way the algorithm is, I suppose. Anyway, on that note, I'm going. Hopefully you liked what you saw and it gave you a few ideas. And I know a few of you out there are probably going through the same kind of thing as I am. I know I've got quite a few serious lifters on here, guys who've been doing it a long time. We all get beat up, we all go through those phases, and sometimes, you have to listen to your body and back off a little bit. Gravity's still going to be there and iron's still going to be there. All right, you guys take care, have a good week, be strong, speak to you soon.